What's up, Grow Fam? It's Wednesday.
Hey,
Once again, it's Wednesday, the middle of the week. We all need that little something to get us through the rest of the week, right? I don't know, but today's Wednesday. It's another Waylon Wednesday on Grow Fam. What's up, Grow Fam? How's it going, everybody? It's Wednesday once again. Switching audio tonight. Yeah, so tonight, okay, we're good to go. Grow Fam Wednesday, Waylon Wednesday. What's up, Grow Fam? Getting that middle of the week going on right now. We're gonna have a little sesh. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna give away Grow Fam box tonight. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Waylon Wednesday, powered by Grow Fam. All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome to Wednesday, everybody. Waylon Wednesday on Grow Fam. We are on the Indoor Farmer Rumble channel as well. If you guys are interested in Rumble, ask me about that. But yeah, happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy midweek sesh. It's time to maybe, we'll have some fun and maybe find some information out at the same time. All right, everybody. What's up? What's up, everybody? So listen, your best friend and your worst enemy can be in the mind, your own mind, right, guys? It's going to be a fun episode tonight. We got We Grow Wednesday. It's 04/24/24. So welcome in, everybody. We've already got a house full, 52 people already coming in. Guys, hit that like button, smash it if you will, and share the show out with your friends. We do have a giveaway tonight a little bit later. We've got a very special guest for you tonight, and he did make it. I see him in the back there. I see there, Dr. Heath. Guys, this is going to be a fun one. Definitely going to be interesting and very informative, and we might throw a little bit of humor in there as well. So without further ado, let's find out who's here today. All right, welcome Dr. Heath to the show. My friend, hello.
Waylon, how are you?
Doing well. Glad to finally be able to see you. Video is my medium, really. So it's something that I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to see you up here and actually talk to you more a little bit more face to face. I don't have the budget yet on some of the podcasts where they fly the guests in, in person and stuff. That would be the ultimate one day for sure. So we as we pile everybody in here, definitely keep hitting that like button, guys. And we actually are live on Rumble. We're live on Kick. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube and X. So we are live on X. And I don't know if you use StreamYard at all, Dr. Heath, but you are welcome to link I don't know if you see the link up in the right-hand corner. It's a blue, looks like a chain link. It's people that use StreamYard typically will see that and they can share their.
Can you stream it to X?
That's where it's at now. Yep.
Oh, it's on X now. Can I stream it to my account on X?
That's what that is. Yeah. If you see up in the right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a blue, looks like a chain link. And if you click that, it'll sort of send you through the options, and you're welcome to take your time. There's no rush. We've got it's an interactive show. We definitely got everybody coming and saying hi. If you know where the comments are, you might be in the private chat. If you go up to comments, you'll see all the comments flowing on the right-hand side there. We've got, let's see, what have we got in on the Rumble? We've got 4 in the Rumble has been crazy lately. Rumble is actually up and down. They're doing some changing over there, just like X is, I think. But we've got about 70 people in here right now. Guys, definitely smash that button. Come on in. And we've got Dr. Heath. He is a specialist, if you will. And I want to hear from you whenever you're ready. Just a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, I can do the sign in at a later date. That looks pretty cool. But it looks like.
Oh yeah, no. By all means, I'd rather you go ahead and do it. We've got plenty of time. I'll actually, in fact, I can do this.
Sign up for free.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to enter my.
Margaret, what's
email.
Up? Thank you, Jess. Margaret over on the Rumble as well. Jess over on the X. Thank you, ladies, for jumping around on the different platforms. What's up, Perry? Hello again. A lot of my subscribers in here already. What's up, Justin? In fact, every person so far is a subscriber to the Indoor Farmer. Shouts out to you guys. We got Terry. What's up, Terry and Brendra, the dynamic duo, tagged and shared. Thank you very much. Dezamans. I'm sorry, brother. I don't know how to say that, but it's a very interesting name. Days Vons. That sounds more right. What's up, Heather? Yeah, Dr. Heath is just working on the. Yeah, I appreciate him for doing that. Actually, it would be helpful for me. I'm not ashamed to say. What's up, Jess? Hello, Jess. Going all over the place. Ricky, what's up, man? Chris Fisher in the house. Chris, how are you? Chris, could you? I'm not sure if I did actually hit the @everyone in the Grow Fam. If we could get one of those, I appreciate it. I think I might have. I kind of went nuts there at the last second. Yes, thank you guys. We're over on the YouTube as well. We're actually on 2 different YouTubes, 2 different Facebooks, and 2 different Rumbles. So we're just all over the place. Did you see? Did it let you sign in? I think it's you sign into your Facebook on there is what it is.
Well, I'm actually signing into X.
Cool. Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'll have to.
Yeah, you're live now.
If I'm on it.
That's what it looks like. Yeah. So we might get some friends to pop.
I've never done this before on X. That's pretty cool.
Oh, this is the way to go, especially if you're trying to network audiences. I mean, 100%. Like you're going to see, especially make sure that you have the comments pulled up on the right-hand side and you're not stuck inside the private chat because that will show you where everybody's coming in talking from. Monsters are real and ghosts are real, just says live inside your head and sometimes they win. Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of metaphors for that when Dr. Heath does spaces over on X. But now that he's hooked up, I want to hear from you. Who are you? What do you do? Hi.
Dazavans, good to see you. Perry Wood, Jess Rosebud Canna. I retweeted. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Well, so I think of myself as a neuromechanic. I don't know diesel mechanics, but I know how the brain works. And my job every day is to teach people how to be better users, better mechanics of their own brain. And it amazes me how many people don't really spend much time thinking about their thinking. and that's my bread and butter. And so I have been in the mental health field for over 40 years. I've had a private practice since the early 1990s. And I have a PhD in neuropsychology and a PhD in forensic psychology and a smattering of other degrees. And I just love to dig into how people are thinking and introduce them as to how their thinking is sabotaging their life. I talk a lot about, hey, Sheena, and about how their thoughts are sabotaging their life. And there's Terry, and work with people on
Hi, Lisa.
employment issues, marriage, relationship issues, parenting issues. Hey, there's the real Greg Lopez, G-Lo.
That's right.
Tap the screen
William.
to make the broadcaster gleam. I don't know.
He's talking about with on X you can make the hearts go flying and it doesn't mean any. It doesn't even leave
It's
a
not
heart.
working. It's not working, Greg.
You know what? If you're on an iPhone and you are on the StreamYard, you can do the you're not on the iPhone, but people do these like different things that Facebook has now, where you do the thumbs up and it will come up on StreamYard. It's so weird because
will it really?
Because they're connected through Facebook anyway. It's see, there it goes. You had me fooled with the phone turned sideways. I didn't realize.
I'm on my laptop.
Oh, it still worked on the laptop. Okay, well, I have no idea then. It must be
Here's a single thumb. Well,
your thumb's too close.
It won't do it.
Maybe. No. Yeah, there it goes.
You got to be just at the right distance.
Easily amused. I didn't realize StreamYard was doing that. I thought it was a Facebook thing. It's insane.
Sometimes the OK sign will do it.
What will it do? Does it show an OK?
I don't remember.
I remember one is there's the birthday. Happy birthday, Dr.
Heath is birthday balloons.
I see. Daz Evans. I see, guys. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate unusual names. Waylon was an unusual name, but man, I know so many people naming their kids Waylon now. There's a lot of Waylons out there now. Man, I just got to take it from me. Just like speaking of one of them right here, we got Smashley here, Ashley Huffman. Her son's name is Waylon.
Oh, wow.
Little dude.
Hey, Ashley.
Shouts out to little. So I think we derailed you a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm putting the comments up because we're in so many locations. That way, everybody who's watching in different places will see that, hey, they're not alone here.
Oh, I just found the comments.
There you go. Awesome.
You're welcome. I just watched the video. Hey, what's up, Waylon from Segroy? What a cool name that is. Segroy.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. I always wanted to meet a Segroy. You need to flex the thumbs. Okay, there's my thumb flex.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumbs war.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see that to happen. Actually, we're on Kick. Kick is a newer site, and on Kick you can do things like that. Actually, there's like these little battles that can happen, and it's insane, all this stuff out there. I try to keep a little bit of an eye open on a lot of things, but a bigger thumb on a couple things.
Hi, Denise. Denise says, hi, everyone. Hi back, Denise. Ash Groves, Raston Rhino, Joseph Anderson, Joe Bulls, Mike Hood, the Foop, Ray Paget. I have no idea what that means, but it's pretty cool that you posted that.
He's tagging people on Facebook.
Those are all the tags. Somebody named
people in here. Mm-hmm.
The Foop. I always want to meet the Foop. That's pretty cool.
That is one of our lovely sponsors, actually. And tonight's show is brought to you by and powered by the man himself, Ash Groves, who is the owner, co-owner, I guess. We got to throw his wife in there, Miss Dreadful. They own the Grow Fam Homestead, and that's where we are now. We got 99 people in on the what I call the non-Rumble side, because Rumble number doesn't transfer. We got 10 people on my Rumble. I like to count the Rumble guys because that's where I like the backup on the Rumble. But X is coming up quick as far as freedom of being able to do what you want within the law as far as your videos go. But at the same time, X has kind of got us on a leash with videos because the links are being, what's the term, deboosted and whatnot. Anyway, we'll get into that later. But they're not paying much attention to videos yet on the algorithm over there. So the X spaces is where you thrive. And I do want to give you a minute though to make sure that you finish what you were saying, because we kind of derailed you. But yeah, you're a professional since the 90s, 91, you said, right?
Well, 93, I opened my private practice clinic in 93. I was still traveling the U.S. doing QA and CQI, which is quality assurance, continuous quality improvement for medical facilities. And so I'd fly out somewhere new every week, and we would walk in our white coats and, rip the staff a new one if they weren't doing what they're supposed to do, and try to get people ready for federal surveys. And then if a facility was going downhill, we were the hit team that went in and, relieved a lot of people of their jobs and hired new people and tried to get the place up and running in tip-top order and taking care of patients the way they should. And so I did that consulting, on QA for a long time. And then my son came along. It's time to stay home. And so I became a big homebody. And I just love my private practice. Opened about five behavioral health clinics, sold those, and now just do one.
So you had them all open at once, or was it kind of like
I did. I had a whole team. It was a company, and we ran a clinic in each of 5 different cities, and the whole, mental health big corporation thing where we had a teams of therapists in the clinics, and case managers and nurses and psychiatrists and intensive IOPs, intensive outpatient programs. And then I sold that basically to my partners and walked away and just am happily doing my own thing every day. And I have to say, I love, love, love my job.
That seems, I'm sure it wasn't as seamless as what it sounds, but it sounds like it was a really sweet deal to just step away. Here you go, take the check, and yeah, that's nice.
Just take the check and reduce the stress, and I mean, I like doing that. The thing I didn't like about it is it's really hard to be in mental health and have your hands on patients, interact with patients, which is what I love, and be in administration. And I did not like administration. I would rather just do therapy with people.
I was going to ask you how much hands-on, but I guess that answers my question. How many like actual patients, but you can kind of do your own thing, which that gives you freedom in other ways too, to be able to speak your mind on X, which is probably, one of the last places that a doctor can go if they are tethered by some kind of a red tape or some kind of, corporation or whatever it is.
Well, there's nobody to fire me. There's plenty of people to report me. And, but I tell clinicians that I supervise and train, don't do stupid stuff. There's a lot of cowardly anonymity on X, a lot of cowardly, hey, retired first assistant of 25 years and level. Hey, it was so delicious to walk away. Yeah, that's a tough job. There's a lot of cowardly anonymity on X, where people will give themselves permission to say things behind the disguise or their PFP, their picture for proof, PFP, that they would never say to you sitting across a coffee table. And the way I look at it is, if you can't say something to the powers that be, like if you're in a profession and you could get reported to whoever, if you can't say something to that group of people, then you probably shouldn't be saying it at all. And I just try to make sure, I don't do therapy on X. I see things that I really question people do on X, and I think, you can't do therapy on social media.
You mean you don't send them a DM and say, here's my card?
Yeah, I mean,
Here's
it's
a
a whole
discount.
different. It's a whole different standard. What I do is provide information.
Yeah.
I just provide information.
It is therapy in like a general sense. The way that people
It's
take
what you
it. Yeah.
decide to do with it.
Right.
A lot of people ignore it. I just had a guy that sent me put in the feed in the timeline that you should never trust a guy named Dr. Heath who has a what did he say? It was really funny that a guy that is named Dr. Heath. And I said, you're exactly right. Never trust anybody named after a candy bar. That sounds like a really bad idea.
I mean, at least it's a good one. I like Heath bars. I might be.
Well, yeah, I tell people, my mother worked in a convenience store. My dad was hungry and went in there and he was buying a Snickers. They hooked up and they're going to name me after the candy bar Snickers, but they thought that would just be weird. So they decided to go for the Heath bar name. I'm kidding. None of that happened. I'm joking. My dad actually was a big fan of a TV show called The Big Valley. And on The Big Valley, there's a cowboy, a rebel cowboy. I certainly identify with that since we're identifying with things these days. I identify with being a rebel cowboy. I even used to have a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. I don't anymore. But at any rate, my dad loved that actor, Lee Majors, Nancy's own. Hey there, Nancy. And
that's the giveaway that they know what to do.
Oh, that's the giveaway. Okay. And so he named me after Heath Barkley, who later went on, Lee Majors, to become the $6 million man for some of you older people in the class this evening. And then, sadly or amazingly, I was sitting with my son one evening watching a cartoon TV show called Ben 10. And Grandpa Max is played by the $6 million man, Heath Barkley, Lee Majors.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
I never realized. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, sorry. So yeah, guys, this is the hashtag. If you are coming in from X and you don't realize what's happening, Miss Nancy is our newest creator, our newest content maker over at GrowFam. On Saturdays is her show. I'm not sure if it's a solid time yet, but this is a giveaway coming from her genetics company. It is a pack of seeds, and I have one to pack myself. They are cannabis seeds. So if that is something that you are into out there, we do have 130 people here hanging out. So some of you on X, you definitely can get in on it. And I do encourage you from Facebook to go to both Facebook locations and hashtag. Go to my page. If you haven't followed, please do. Waylon the Indoor Farmer. Go over to the Homestead. Go over to both YouTube channels, both Rumble channels, and on X. You can hashtag on all of those. So you actually get extra chances to win because it helps us spread the love and spread our word out there a little bit. Yeah, appreciate that. So, Dr. Heath, I did actually come up with some questions. I don't normally. I try to keep things pretty loose typically, but it is our first time hanging out as far as more intimately, I guess. So
hey, Ross Torano says, "Love the Fall Guy." You're showing your age there, my friend. The Fall Guy. That was a wonderful TV
there's a new one coming out. Did you see the
everybody was in love with Heather Locklear? I guess it was Heather Locklear.
One of the ladies.
Yeah, one of those 80s babes, And but yeah, it's coming out again. I look forward to seeing that. That's amazing.
It looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
And speaking of Rasta was a mental health professional. He said he got burned out in the industry.
Oh wow, yeah.
He does run a live stream about mental health. That was a question I didn't write down, but like, do you think? It's kind of a broad question, but do you think mental health is being used as a crutch or being sort of taken over, co-opted, or sort of overused nowadays, not only from the side of people making content, because I've done mental health episodes, but also from the side of people saying that they're a victim or they have a problem with themselves? Because most of us, I just was listening to something, and it's a good point that we now more than ever talk about our mental health. I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's just us saying, hey, look at me, I'm woe is me, looking for sympathy. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's a
yes and no. I recall my residency supervisor, I was just talking about him today. Whoops, the great Elkanon Goldberg. The father of neuropsychology was Alexander Lyria, and Goldberg was his student, his colleague eventually. And as I was telling Dustin the Dad, check out Dustin the Dad's feed on X, says some good stuff.
Dustin the Dad.
Because he was talking about Nicholas Taleb. Nicholas Taleb wrote a really good book called Black Swans. And it's been many years since I read it, but he and Goldberg are, they know each other, and Goldberg was talking about him, and he has great respect for him. But I remember Goldberg, who is a defector from Russia. He's Jewish. Jews are not cool in Russia. Discriminated against, especially back in his day. And so in the 70s, he left. The field of neuropsychology really got started by Luria when he was working with soldiers. And hey, thank you, Ashley. And somebody was, Ashley. Ashley was going to be named Darcy. Ashley. DA. Yeah, Darcy Ashley. Ashley Darcy, AD.
Gulia. Oh, go ahead.
So good to meet you. Good to meet you, Ashley. Thank you very much. And Luria would notice soldiers that came in with parts of their head blown off. If this part's affected, there's things they could not do that someone else could do. And so he started associating different outer cortical damage to the loss of certain skills, and started making correlations between those. And
that's how they figured it out. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Through war. So he would say, what is this? And if you couldn't name what that was, that would give him some information about where that lesion was located.
Write it down. Right. Okay.
And so Goldberg and Luria, they come from a country where, mental health meant really nasty stuff had happened to you. But now living in the U.S., his term is the worried well, the worried well. And the problem is we've gone from the stigma of mental health, which was never good, to you can't be cool unless you have a diagnosis. Yeah. And right over there, if I thought about it, I would have stacked them up. I have a stack of this many books that are all diagnoses. And I have the first one, the DSM-1, Diagnostic Statistical Manual 1, which is basically a pamphlet. But then that is ballooned to, something like, 1,000 diagnoses or something like that. And why is that? Well, because of commercialism. There's lots and lots of money in making people sick by giving them a label. And then it becomes a bit of a confirmation bias that the more you tell yourself you have that label, the more that label comes to describe your life, and the more disabled that you get. And so your life just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as you give up greater and greater amounts of real estate to this diagnosis. So we've really gone, there's the balloons again.
Got them. It was primed. It was ready.
It's so weird. I do lots of Zoom calls in therapy, and I have no idea how to turn that off. We'll be talking about something seriously, something serious, then here come the balloons or whatever. It lights me a little bit. So I have gone from being a Kool-Aid drinking diagnostician. I remember I just loved being an expert diagnostician in the early 80s when I was in undergrad school, and took it very seriously, learned all the diagnoses. I've really since set that aside, because you can't treat a diagnosis, but you can treat a person. One of my favorite books on the subject is Ellen Sachs. It's a great book if you want to read it. I highly recommend it. ELYNSAKS. And it's called The Center Cannot Hold. And she describes being a young teenage girl, and her world started spinning, and in her words, the center cannot hold. I think that's a Shakespearean phrase. She remembers her dad was there, and she said, the worst thing, I told this story many times on X, the worst thing was going from being a human being, not the hallucinations where they're auditory or visual. Um, the worst thing was going from being a human to being a thing called a schizophrenic.
Right.
And that's one thing I did in my surveys is I would really write people up if they started uh, labeling people as diagnoses instead of as people. For instance, the story I like to tell, I was behind the nurses station one time, and I love nurses, by the way. I love nurses. We need more nurses.
They got the snacks.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's right. And a very hard job, typically underpaid, overworked, understaffed.
Mm.
But the thing is, I was back there and they said to somebody, to a colleague, would you check on the tube feeder down the hall? And I turned around and said, I need to see Mrs. Tube Feeder's chart. Who? Well, Mrs. Feeder. Mrs. Feeder. You just talked about her. Mrs. Feeder, first name Tube. And they say, oh, no, no, no. She's on a tube feeding. I know. That's not her name. Her name is, Mrs. Smith or whatever. And so that is there's actually a tag for that. Back then we called regulations tags. And there's actually a dignity tag that is in violation of, that is actually encoded into law as part of the as part of the OBRA, Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act. It's weird law. They put all kinds of things in there, and so that's a violation. You have to treat people like people, and so at any rate, there is no such person as a schizophrenic. There are no people who are autistic. They may struggle with autism, but they are not autistic, because it's really a philosophical thing. As a species, we have become really, really good at dehumanizing other people. People become their diagnosis. People become their political affiliation. Oh, you're one of those stinking, liberals or Republicans or Democrats or whatever. And so as soon as we label somebody, they become less than human to us in our mind. We actually think of them as less than human when we label them. And so someone may have alcoholism, but that does not make them this thing called an alcoholic. They have a struggle with a condition.
Do you think it's a bad thing or a good thing? Not to stop your train there, but there's this burning question in my mind is thinking that's, to me, is a survival mechanism, because we cannot care for everyone individually. Our minds have this sort of mechanism in order to dehumanize, maybe, but I don't know that it's necessarily an evil or a malicious intent. Your mind is saying, I can't care. It's too much. I would care too much if I keep them in forefront as a real human. So my mind is giving me this defense mechanism to shut that off, because as a nurse, especially, you see it every day. Every case is a dire case, and you feel for every person. And so you have to have some way to compartmentalize. And you, as a doctor, I can imagine a similar situation. So what do you think? There couldn't be, I'm sure there's malicious intent with some people, of course, but other people.
Well, I've in healthcare, I've not seen a malicious intent. I've seen it kind of sneak up on people. I've seen it a lot with clinicians, where people become cases or case numbers instead of people. They become appointments on the calendar. Hey, your 9 o'clock is here, or your 10 o'clock is here. And so, yes, of course, person first language, great. And so that is the deceptive thing about it, is people think, in order to save myself from the anguish of someone else's anguish, I must dehumanize them with a label. But there's far better ways of providing yourself self-care. And like I said, I do hear people talk about burnout. Once upon a time, I was seeing, my heyday, when I really didn't care how much I worked, I might do 10 or 12 hours a day. 10 or 12 patients a day, sometimes 13,
Oof.
sometimes 14. I worked a lot. And how I didn't experience what's called burnout, number one, is I believe that it was something else. I believe that I need to provide self-care. So I'm a health nut. I get in a lot of cardio. I get in a lot of resistance training. I have my nutrition dialed in. I have my sleep hygiene dialed in. And so all those paradigms are really important in our functioning: social, emotional, physical, spiritual, occupational, educational, cognitive. There's 7 of them. Those are buckets. Those are like fuel tanks. And so I keep those full. Here's one of them. This is
What's in there?
apple cider tea. I
Okay.
drink a lot of hot tea.
I have lemon tea that I'm drinking, and I've been drinking lemon water with cucumber slices and lemons in the water. And I put it in a pitcher in my fridge with ice. And instead of, I went a long time ago, I tried it and it was good, but I put it in a glass, and you'd have to change it out a lot. So I'm like, this was smart. I put it in a big pitcher. But you actually started touching on a few questions that I had. One of them was like, what's a general diet for you? Because I know you have all those things dialed in. So could you tell me like a general day in the stomach of Dr. Heath? Like, what's it like? What do you do? Do you have,
When I used to compete in bodybuilding contests. And,
wow.
and once upon a time, I would eat every 2 hours. Every 2 hours. I would eat 12 times a day. I would even get up at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m. On the dot and eat every 2 hours. A weird thing, when I stopped doing that, I really missed it. It was hard to adjust to what I do now, which is a standard 4 meals a day. 4 meals a day.
That's standard.
Yeah, that's standard.
Okay. Small, like lighter meals, four lighter meals.
It's the same thing every day, basically, except for one meal.
Interesting.
I mean, I eat dinner with my wife. I eat what she cooks. It's a relationship thing.
Sure.
I found out it's not cool to sit with your significant other and they eat,
they're just
baked chicken and you chug down a protein shake.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think vice versa. She probably thinks about you when she decides what to make. She's not just trying to make we're gonna have chocolate cake for dinner. What's up? Like
no, she's a great cook, so she cooks very healthy. Tonight we had baked chicken and wild rice. So I eat a real meal every day. Hey, look at that! There's the confetti.
Yes, that's what that is. Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, the Richard Nixon sign is confetti.
I don't think it works for me. I'm on a computer, so it's different.
So I get up in the morning and I drink my first dose of supplements, which is 10 grams of colostrum, a quarter teaspoon of arginine, and some other goodies. Green tea extract is an eighth of a teaspoon of that. So I have a whole cabinet full of supplements. I was getting it ready during a space, and I posted a picture of it, and Honey Badger accused me of being like one of the characters on Snowfall, having my own little drug lab in the kitchen.
Yeah, and that makes me think, well, how do you go about knowing which ones to buy from places? Because some supplements have been found to be coming from shady materials. I don't know how to put it. From less than good quality things. Namely,
it really is a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. I tell people I don't like recommending supplements. I'll recommend supplement types.
Yeah,
but there are very few supplement companies.
That's the thing
that I will recommend, because you never know. I mean, they may be good now and be terrible 2 years from now. Jess says I drink a lot of protein shakes. Yeah, I found it ridiculous when I was in and out of medical facilities what my dietitian colleagues thought was an adequate level of protein. And the numbers are really pretty broad, but it's somewhere around 1 to 2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. And so
expensive piece.
It sounds, Ashley, like you've been talking to my wife.
Ashley's all natural. She actually goes with she works for a company, Juice Plus, and they do these like all super packed vitamins. So I don't know. It's not. I guess it's not a supplement, but that must be what she's saying. I thought it was more of a kind of a supplement. But
I've heard of Juice Plus. I don't know much about it, but I've heard, I think, good things. So colostrum is mother's milk, by the way, and I do get it from a company of a man whose wife was in a terrible medical condition. I don't recall what it was. And he had dug into the research that colostrum may help her.
Mm-hmm.
But the stomach chews up colostrum and it becomes, well, as Ashley said, expensive pee. And so it has to be treated. It has to be liposomal colostrum. If you're going to take vitamin C, liposomal vitamin C is pretty top notch. But yeah, I get the colostrum from that company, and all I can say is, if you want to try stuff, don't try too many things at once. Be very scientific about it. If you just throw every supplement at what you're doing, there's no real way to, decide what's doing what. And so I started out.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I started out with doing one at a time to see how that worked. And I eventually got myself a menu of supplements that worked for me. And my motivation was really very much. I mean, I went whole hog into supplements after I was in the gym and snapped a vertebra in half. Ooh. And I went to
like fully.
They just said you snapped a vertebra in half, I'm not an orthopedic guy, just, but they said, I was in the gym doing squats, so I was warming up. I had, 315 on my back, and which is easy for me. I have strong legs, and I was on rep number 8 or something, and I felt a pop and a really sharp pain. I thought that's not good. And, and I thought, well, and I started to go down again. I lost strength in my legs and my hips. That had never happened. And I've had, I don't know, nearly 800 pounds on my back. Hey, Timothy.
Wow. That's
and, I do heavy walkouts. I can't squat that much. I would do heavy walkouts with that. And so, it didn't get any better after, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. I did nothing, but it just didn't get any better after 3 or 4 weeks. And so I went and had some imaging done, and they said, well, what medications do you take? I take no medication. I don't want any medication. And they said, well, you're basically bone on bone for several of your vertebrae, and you snapped a vertebra in half. And so they said, we're going to give you this medicine. And, the only thing better than one medication is half a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't do any of that. I said, look, if that's not going to fix it, I don't want it. I'm kind of an all natural guy. And no one knew. I mean, no one could tell me, which I found very disappointing. No one in the medical community to say, here's how a guy as healthy as you can snap a vertebra in half. And so I found out on my own. I found out that I was probably deficient in several different things, vitamin D3 being one, boron.
Yeah, I would have said that for sure.
Collagen. Yeah, I mean, it seems obvious once you know it. And
since COVID, we know that most people are deficient in vitamin D. It was like 80% of the people that were actually hospitalized from COVID were vitamin D deficient, which is just something that we all need to be.
Well, it's just like this. This is water. Most people are not dehydrated, but they are suboptimally hydrated.
Right.
Consider going through your whole life suboptimally hydrated, the adverse effect that has on you. And so I drink about a gallon of water a day. Now, you can get too much water. There are actually hydration calculators on the internet, and it's a calculation between body weight, caloric intake, climate, and activity level. And so
we just used our pee in the military. We used our pee. If you just look at the color of the pee, and you can tell if you were hydrated, was the idea.
Well, yeah, but you can't dial it in that way. I
No,
mean,
but
that's a good point. I get it. That's
with
what they
just
do
a
in the
quick way
hospital.
they could tell. Yeah, they could. Oh
That's
well.
what they do in the hospital. But the best guess is to do both. Is to because you could have an infection or something. You could be well hydrated, have an infection, and yeah, good for you, Brad. I take zero medication, and there are some people that need medication, but not. I got to the point that I had a medicine cabinet of 15 different things. I had skin medication because I had rosacea right
Mm-hmm.
here. Let's see
Much
what else.
autoimmune stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was told is
Mhm,
autoimmune stuff.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
funny that went away when I started living a healthier lifestyle, and I had 3 or 4 different high blood pressure medications. And through college, I had got very unfit, but no one said, "Hey, let's instead of throwing medication at you, let's work with you and make some lifestyle changes and see if
Right.
you can do this drug free." It's just here's your medication.
There's
Oh,
no
by the
money
way,
in that. Yeah, there's no what. Go
here's
ahead.
another medication. The next visit,
Right.
oh, we have a third medication for you.
You've got a
I
front.
would do chart reviews. Hey there, Father. Good to see you, man. There's Father Peter. And I would uh, go in and it was just medication, medication, medication. And I eventually got off of everything. I take
Mm.
no medication.
Do you have any allergies?
I do. I
I
have
do too.
seasonal allergies.
Ooh, I can't get away from the allergy medications.
Yeah,
There's
yeah. I used
certain
to
like
take a handful
natural
of
ones.
allergy medication, and over time for me. Now, this is just for me. I'm not recommending this. This is not a medical consult for anybody. My expertise in medical stops at the eardrums. I'm just all brain. That's the only thing I do. But I found that over time, I have like 18 medicines every day. Yes, I would go into facilities, and patients would have an MAR, medication administration record, and I would look at the medications, and they had 6 pages of drugs. They're pumping 6 pages of drugs into these people. And I just think that the body was created to be a bit of a closed unit, that you're not supposed to have to take all those drugs. And I've had patients,
Right.
yeah, temazepam. I've had patients who have spent years titrating off of psychoactive medications. By the way, never cold turkey off of any psychoactive medication, and never let a doctor cold turkey off of psychoactive medication. Look up a dose reduction schedule, bring it to your doctor, say, Doc, I want you to work with me on titrating this medication as slowly as possible. And I think as a patient got off of Klonopin,
Mm-hmm.
2 years. 2 years it took to get off of Klonopin. Because some drugs, like a Remeron, for example, getting off of Remeron is terrible. It's an antidepressant, and it's
Yeah,
really
I've never
hard to
heard of
get
that
off
one.
of.
It sounds
Yeah.
like that car on, or those two officers on Super Troopers, car ramrod. But yeah, so I know, I actually didn't plan to get into this. Maybe we'll touch on it now, come back. But one thing I read actually last week was a story about CBD being used to help crack addicts get away from, like a much worse type of thing. Now, I know your stance on cannabis in general. We don't really have to get into that per se. That wasn't my intention for the show, but we can talk about it. I do want to, before I don't know how much time you have for sure. We have 180 people in here right now, guys. Make sure you hit that hashtag and get in on the giveaway if you are interested in some seeds from Miss Nancy's own. Okay, so before we get, because I think you and I could just talk all day for sure. While I have you, so I wanted to know what you do in your free time. Like so you're not always just being healthy and working out. Like, what do you do? Do you like TV? Do you do any, like, probably none of that?
I'm a movie buff. I love movies.
Okay. Okay.
I spend most of my time either working or creating or hanging out with my wife, on standby in case my son has time for me. He's a
There
busy
you go.
kid. He is, my shirt here says let me see here. Proud dad of a
Okay.
future doctor. He's in med
Nice.
school.
Okay.
So I understand that. But
Same thing, or is he going to go a different?
Oh, no. He would never go into mental health.
Oh, no. Oh, my.
Yes. He grew up with a psych guy, and he is never going to do that.
What are you?
Please, doctor, what are you treating today? Well, we're talking about, I guess, a little bit of everything, Father. We're talking about all kinds of things in mental health, problems with the field. One of the big problems is the biggest is over pathologizing. Problem number one, over pathologizing.
Mm.
You don't have to have a pathology to benefit from psychotherapy.
So you don't have to say I have an issue, therefore I need to see a psychologist.
Well, you may have an
can-
issue, but you don't have to have a diagnosis.
Right. And so I think
Yeah.
a lot of people like to think of their self-care as a sort of therapy. Some of us get therapy by doing live streams and just and like this is a show. I produce shows, but then also you can just go live to just hang out, sort of, so to speak, with friends, and that's kind of a therapy as well. And it's kind of become people's therapy. I don't know if it's to an unhealthy degree though, that we look to people through the screen to be our friends rather than people that live next to us. It is kind of sad. I do think that we need to make sure we know our neighbors a little bit and all that kind of thing. We feel more connected but less connected than ever now. It's a rough time.
Do you know what the fastest growing demographic segment is on social media?
When you say demographic, you mean like type of person or type of video, type of content?
Or age group.
Okay. I would say the middle age to late, 50s.
The elderly.
Okay. I was thinking older, but I was trying to
yeah. And working with the elders, I would say that is a wonderful thing. There are elderly people out there that get very little, if any, social interaction. They just love getting a art therapy. Drivel Delight's art therapy. And my buddy is a art therapist, a recreational therapist actually. But yeah, they just love getting prank phone calls and marketing phone calls and junk mail and things like that. And I think that's wonderful. I think social media can be wonderful, but everything has its limits. Don't let your life get smaller and smaller and smaller. If you have 10 fingers, use all 10 of them. 10 toes, use all 10 of them. 2 arms, use both of them. And get out and do things. I think often we need to go on a social media fast or a technological fast. I was telling a patient earlier, when I leave the house, sometimes, not often, but every now and then, I'll forget this.
Feels
I'll get
weird.
down the road and think, it's a bit of a little bit of withdrawal goes on.
Your heart sinks a little bit. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Right.
Hallelujah. I don't have to answer this stinking thing for the next hour.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to point this out, guys. Leslie Cobb, one of the fam, one of the community. He actually sponsors. He's one of my sponsors on game night without even being a company. And he just sponsors out of the kindness of his heart. He's going in for brain surgery tomorrow, or at least going to see the brain surgeon in the morning. He found out today that he's been having many strokes, and his arteries are about 90% clogged in his neck. And definitely want to see our prayer warriors, our good vibe, anybody's, and all of that stuff. We definitely want to put out some love there for Leslie, because I definitely feel for him. I want to be kept in the loop. Leslie, he told me earlier, and I'm glad you told everybody, because I wasn't sure if I should be talking about it, publicly and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely prayers out to Leslie, guys, for sure. That's nothing. That's no joke. For sure. I just saw somebody else recently that had a similar issue. Was they were getting headaches because of their artery. Was that on Today's Space? Was somebody? No, I don't know where I heard it. It was just very recently, but another person had a similar issue And shouts out to Dr. Heath for pulling me up as co-host today on my very first co-hosting of a space.
Oh, was it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't I think I tried out one. I made it like I did a space myself. No one showed up, you know. It's just like echo, hello, hello. It wasn't, you know, it was weird, but yeah, my first time actually getting to co-host, so it was cool. But yeah, so definitely guys, thank you for all those kind words in the comments. Kimberly, that's a little messed up. I'm sure that's not for Leslie. Anyway, rough. So actually, I wanted to. I that was one thing I didn't write down, but to talk about the brain as far as continuing. You kind of hit it on the head, like continuing to do things with your mind all the way until you know we are privileged to grow old. Like it's a privilege. A lot of us may not think that, but think about people that did not get the chance. And so we as we grow old, we got to still use everything, like you said, all of our fingers and toes. But for me, I try to continue learning. I try to always be like learning something. I like to expand my mind, and I'm just kind of a curious person in general. And so like I'm a left-handed person. Sometimes I try to write stuff with my right hand. You know, that's a big one. Or just try to do things with your opposite hand, or do things in a different way than you normally would. All those kind of things I like to think about. As far as it battles, it kind of, what is it, Alzheimer's, that it kind of helps to stroke and Alzheimer's kind of help. Maybe one of those two.
Cognitive decline, certainly. One of the best things you can do to prevent cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, is take care of your liver. Take care of your liver. There's a lot of evidence that says that Alzheimer's begins in the liver. So heavy fatty foods, drinking beyond what's considered a normal limit, which if you're under 55 and you're male, 2 standard drinks a day, that's it. If you're female, 1 standard drink a day, that's it. No one ever dies of an alcohol deficiency. So take care of your liver. And the other thing, like Waylon said, is do new things. I have a colleague of mine up in Canada. He learns new compositions. He's a pianist, and he learns new compositions. So do that. Learn a different language. Expose yourself to alternative points of view so well that you could defend that point of view. A lot of people seem to be allergic to the way that other people think. Thinking that other people's thinking is a threat to you is one of the worst mindsets you can have. Find something you disagree with and investigate why might the other person believe that, and train your brain on why they might think that. You don't have to swallow it. You don't have to accept it, but at least challenge your thinking on that.
I do that on Thursdays. Actually, we bring up people. I do that on Thursdays, where we bring up people. It's an open forum for anybody really to talk about the topic. And sometimes the topic is very mundane. Sometimes it's very serious. Sometimes it's charged. But it's all about sharing everyone's experiences. And I know the audience, some of this audience is sick of me explaining it on Wednesdays for Thursdays. But my point is, like, it's because of that. I want to hear everybody's perspective. I may not agree with any of them. I might say, you know, interesting. You know what I mean? Like that's one reason I like Joe Rogan. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but I like the back and forth and the different viewpoints. That's why I like the spaces. I try to tune in when I can. Speaking of which, just to give you the plug, guys, if you are trying to get in on X, I've been trying to get more people over there to X. We've got 208 people hanging out right now. If you're not on X, if you want to check out Dr. Heath every day, he also does a space on Saturdays, a little bit longer for him, but every day during the middle of the day, a midday mindset, he calls it. It's a great like recharge if you're having a rough day, because not only you have the back and forth and the topic, but then you do the, what do you call the at the end, the sort of the mindset part?
It's a mindfulness exercise.
The mindfulness exercise. That's the best way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll put the link for tomorrow's space. It's tomorrow we're doing it on the pain of estrangement.
Okay.
The psychology of estrangement. I'll just drop the link in the
A lot of that in
chat.
this community for sure. Those of us who know about like a one parent dying early or leaving or separating, and yeah, we definitely know about that. At
Well, for
least I
some
do.
reason, my chat feed is not activated. I don't know how to add it in there
On X.
on here. Oh, chat with everyone in the studio.
Oh yeah, you won't be able to do it through StreamYard because you're not the host on the host
I'll
side.
give it to you. I put it in the private
Okay.
chat if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
drop it in the comments.
that will work.
But yeah, we do that every day. On Saturdays, we do the Exposium Clinic, which is a clinic on how to have good spaces. And I love what Leslie said. When I found the ability to love, I lost the ability to hate. So on Saturdays, you can come and join us. We do that's every Saturday, 12 o'clock U.S. time, Chicago, Memphis time. And you can come and be heard, raise your voice, and get tips and tricks and techniques on how to be a great speaker in spaces and places just like this. We're just there collaborating, trying to make spaces better places, making spaces better places. That's so kind of you, Father. Thank you so much. And Father joins in spaces. I always appreciate him being there. Has great comments to share with
Yeah, I think I've
everybody.
seen him. I was looking at the profile pic over on X. Man, your profile picture is very important. It's a big thing, and I actually got kind of when I first started talking to people over there. I'm in this sort of a bit of a crew of NFT folks, and I'm not necessarily an NFT guy. I have a little bit of cryptocurrency here and there. Not a lot, but they're good people. But it's like they're kind of not really speaking my language half the time. So I kind of branched out, and but yeah, Father, I will find you. I can't. I tried to go over there to find you to follow you, but we'll have to hook up afterwards because I didn't see you in the chat there. So yeah, he asked me for a follow. Yeah, for sure, I'll follow you. It's definitely a different world over there on X. Do you have a Facebook?
I do have a Facebook. I'm not really active on
Yeah,
it. I need to get back at that. I used to post a video every day on TikTok. I used to post a video every day on Instagram.
Good night, Sandy.
And hey there, Sandy.
I'll let you know if you won. Sandy's one of my subscribers. She's actually a subscriber on
Hey,
Facebook and Locals, and that means that she has the hash and dash immunity. If Sandy wins this giveaway, I just let her know that she won. That's what's the good thing about subscribing to me. And I saw earlier, shouts out to Brad. Brad Gibson said that he had subscribed to me today. So thank you, my man. I didn't actually see it yet. So thank you for that. And you too, Gerald. Gerald, you're both a subscriber on Facebook and Locals. Yeah. Have you heard of Locals?
I'm not.
It's like a subscription platform similar to like a Patreon or whatever, but it's owned by Rumble, and it's kind of their own avenue of doing all that.
Oh, I see. I see. It says the Indoor Farmer Locals .locals.com.
Yeah, it's just my sort of little home away from home, my little home base away from all the platforms where there's scammers and haters and all of that. You got to pay $2, and that usually blocks off all the all of those type of people. So let me make sure I get through some of my questions before we get too late here. Do you have any vices?
Oh, I would suppose quite a few.
Okay.
I like to get my way.
I'm gonna do that.
And but I say that because one of the most valuable things I found in life is how to be an expert at not getting your way. And we have so many people in the world today, and especially on social media, that they think they must get their way and have their say at the expense of everything. And I do a lot of relationship therapy with people that people will get their way and have their say right into divorce court and right out of relationships and right out of the lives of their children. And I think that we need a little bit more putting other people first and thinking and realizing that life is not Burger King and relationships are not Burger King. Come here and have it your way.
Is that a bit like delayed gratification, or maybe not
Um,
exactly the same, but maybe down the same road as far as,
I guess so. I
because
guess
the,
so.
the
I mean,
delayed gratification is making that person happy and keeping my, my equilibrium and my relationships and things. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Is it like we need to just kind of not have our way right away? We need to, you can.
well, I think that we need, if we're, for instance, if we're in a relationship, we need to do, hey, happy birthday, Father Peter. I didn't know that is
I
my
found
birthday
you.
anniversary,
Well,
25th
happy
of April.
birthday. Yeah, happy
Yeah,
anniversary as
happy
well.
birthday.
And I just followed you there, Father.
Yeah. Um, the question is whether you're in a relationship with God, the Father's here, a relationship with God, the Father, or a spouse, a significant other, or a child. I would say put the relationship first. But putting the relationship first will naturally come at the expense of either party getting their way because the
Right.
focus is on the relationship.
A
And I found
compromise.
that people at the end of the life really have a much better life putting relationships first.
Hmm. So I think I found the same thing, and I just to say a little bit of my story. I more or less found, I don't know if found God is the right way to say it, but when I went through a pretty dark, about 10 years after the war. I thought I had no use to myself, had no reason to be here anymore. It wasn't more like I wanted to die. It was more like there wasn't a reason to live. So there was a difference there. But coming out of that, I realized that I could put myself towards something bigger. And that's not podcasting. That is my whole plan to build a living grocery store where, there's all this, this whole plan that I have. And this, I talk about on my Monday show. And, that's what the indoor farmer really means. And I have all these plans, and it basically was sort of implanted in my brain, and I feel like it wasn't mine. It was given to me, kind of. And so long story short, now that I've pouring myself into something bigger than myself, I feel much more fulfilled than I ever did. And it's kind of along those points. If you just worry about self, then you end up, eating away at yourself rather than filling anything up, because you're not gaining anything.
Well, yeah, because it becomes an eventually people that just live for themselves realize often far too late that they've lived an empty life. The only way to live a full life is to do that life in service of something greater than yourself. And so that's what I try to do. I try to uh, invest as many unselfish minutes as possible, which is why I'm doing the stuff on X. I had some patients say, "Hey, why are you not on social media? A lot of people can't afford therapy with you. And so why don't you give back?" And so I thought, well, okay, I've always kind of had a thing against social media
Mm,
because I see so many relationships ruined
yes,
because of social media
that
and
was how
people
I
doing
was.
silly
Mhm.
things on social media.
Yes, that's
And
exactly
then
how
there's
I
so
felt.
much negativity on social media. But I think that I saw a way clear to rise above that and to realize that you don't have to take everything seriously, and you don't have to attend every comment, and you don't have to
Sure.
disagree with every comment. Just have fun with it. So I just have fun with it. And so I'm just trying to get back, and I do the midday mindset thing to do that. I do the exposium, teaching people how to speak on their platform, how to share their life, how to make a difference in others' lives. Because a lot of those folks in our community, I think we have about 600 people, a little over 600 people in the exposium community at this
Well, I need
point.
to join that one.
Yeah, the exposium. Everybody, you're welcome to join. There's no membership fees. We collaborate with each other on hosting, co-hosting, speaking, and just being an audience member. I go to spaces on X and I just listen. You don't have to speak every time they're on X. I'll drop the link for Waylon to share
Yeah, I'm not able
to
to find
the
it.
community if I can my little widget is. Oh, here it is.
Is
My
it
little
in your? It might be right there on your profile. No, I don't see it. View
copy
more.
link. So let me just drop it for you
Sure.
here in the private chat, and you can pop it over there.
By the way, guys, the link that I'm putting out, it's only going to my page, Waylon the Indoor Farmer. I'm not seeing it over on the Homestead.
And so every week we have it, but one week it's on a topic, such as how to design a space, how to invite guests, how to organize and outline a space, how to deal with trolls, people that come in wanting to do nasty things. And that's a lot of fun. And then every other week we have a speaker's roast and toast. With good intention, point out a few things that you may not be doing well,
I
and
think I
point
caught
out
one of those.
point out things that you're doing great with. And that's hour number one. Now, in hour number two, since X now has video spaces, which we call vid spaces for short, we do a vid space chase, the great vid space chase. So we have a person that opens up a video space for 5 minutes, and then the next person drops a link, and we hop to theirs and to the next and the next and the next and the next, and we just kind of daisy chain follow each other to the next video space. So people get comfortable on camera.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that, but it also helps everybody get a little piece of the algorithm action, as it were. Yeah. So
yes, it very much is for small creators. We have a few people with huge accounts. Sega is a founding member. He's a moderator. He has an account of about 1 million people. Wise and Philosophy has an account of, I don't know, 400,000 or something like that. We have accounts with lots and lots of people, and I love those guys, but Honey Badger has an account of 90,000, very popular, but I love helping small accounts because it's a mistake to think that if you don't have a huge account, what you have to say has less authority, or what you have to say has less meaning. Some of the best things I've heard on X come from the really small accounts, like my friend at 4 Alpha, Franklin Okafor. Franklin has a very small account, but Franklin is one of the best hosts on X, and so I love supporting him. Gilo has a great account. The real Greg Lopez.
Gilo's the man.
Look him up. He was on here earlier.
Yeah, I've had him on. I've had him on the show a couple times.
Yeah. There's a real caste system in social media, and the caste system. And I was told this. I had some large creators I reached out to. I said, "Hey, we're going to do this community to kind of support each other." And I had a couple large creators say, "Hey, we're not going to talk to you. Who are you? You're a small account. We're not going to waste your time with you." Well, that's a mistake, because every account at one point was a small account. Every company at some point was a small company. Once there was this really small company that decided to name their company after a fruit. And then it got to be very popular. And now that company named after a fruit sells phones that look just like this. So every company was a small company. And so I don't like the caste system on X. I think that's a mistake. And thankfully, I think we're winning over some people like Champagne's Brain. She has a great account, and she loves helping small accounts. Yvonne loves help. Honey Badger. Sega is a great ambassador for us. And so we're just joining together, as I say, to make spaces better places.
Shouts out to Tim Brown too. That's one of the spaces that I found on Saturdays, and he actually came in to say hi on my show Monday, and in the comments. Appreciate that. This happened to me today. Actually, I woke up and I had commented on a sponsored ad on Facebook. I said, I really liked this invention. I'd love to have you on my show sometime. And a couple people had laughed at this comment, and I was like, I replied, I said, it's funny that people are laughing. I don't know why. So I said, laugh on. I put a laugh face, and so then it just exploded. There's so many comments on this thread now, because this guy comes in, I don't even know, And it's funny because you gain a lot of haters as you're trying to become, and I never meant to become, quote, an influencer, but that's something that sort of, it's funny, the people that say they're an influencer to me are the ones that aren't, but the ones who just sort of end up that way, like yourself, it's a different story, but you are an influencer, right? And so you gain haters just from what you're talking about and what you're doing sometimes. But and that happens with me too. But then this guy was a whole different scenario because he didn't know me. He wasn't even, he only went off of that one statement and started going. He went and researched my profile in order to say this many followers. Oh, he starts trashing me about followers, saying that he knows a dog with more followers than that and this and that. I said, hey, get a hold of that dog. Maybe he'll come on my show. But it was just funny because I could tell this guy was really wanting that. He wanted me to like get angry, And I'm just like, guy, I was like, thanks for researching me before trying to insult me. And it was just a funny back and forth. Other people even got in and were like, well, why insult the guy? He's just saying he likes the thing. And it's like all these people I don't even know. And it's just so funny because you're right. That's the negative side of social media. And I felt the same way.
Maybe, but I have two words for you. Free advertising.
Yes. That's what made it funny too. I was like, well, I'm still inviting all these people who laughed to follow me. But yeah, it is funny. But I also, to your point about not liking social media, I thought it's a cesspool. It's rotting people's brains. But then I thought to myself during my sort of awakening, I thought, jump in head first, because we can put out better content into the world, more thoughtful content that is something that people should think about. And for one thing, talking about self-sustainability is not the most sexy topic to push, but everything I do is sort of in that same vein, including on Wednesdays. We grow Wednesdays, and it's not just growing food, we're growing our minds, our relationships. And so by me jumping in head first, I'm thinking, let's put out better thoughts into the world, but it's going to take a while. It's pushing a boulder uphill. I don't have someone twerking behind me, and I don't have, like there isn't awesome music playing all the time.
Hey,
like
Greg hey, Greg, if you're available, we would like for you to twerk behind Waylon.
I do get musicians on because music is part of self-sustainability. It's part of the human nature, humankind. We've had music as long as we've known what we are. And so I try to make it entertaining. I try to bring the fact that sustainability is really all of life, not just, hey, that farmer in a field, and so I appreciate having guests like you on because it brings that broader sense.
In the 90s, when I was doing surveys, one of the best things I found were I began helping design DDCUs, dedicated dementia care units, DDCUs, and we would do gardening. It was wonderful. They would have a courtyard where the elderly could go out and do gardening. And thank you, Father. I really appreciate the support there. That's so kind of you, Father Peter. And so, yeah, I think that's wonderful. It's called Green Mind. I can do a shake a snake dance. Hey, Leslie, I'm all. Let's do it, man. Yeah, shake a snake.
Wait until after you see the brain surgeon tomorrow, Leslie. Don't get to.
That may remove any motivation to do a shake a snake dance behind Waylon.
What was I'm still up for it. Please do. I have your permission to mention.
So thank you guys very much for being here. I've got about 10 more minutes, so if there's questions, but
sure.
But one of the best things you can do for your mindset on social media is consider. I'd like to mention one or two things just really, really quick.
Sure, yeah. I'm just making sure.
If you know who you are, then what someone else says about you matters not. And if it matters, then you're still deciding who you are. I know who I am. And so when it comes to those rude, crude comments, listen, I'm Teflon. I'm just Teflon. If you're a friend of mine like Waylon, like if Waylon sent me a DM and said, Heath, you're doing that thing during the interview, that's not great. That's not cool. Don't do that. I would change that. But I know he's acting in good faith. If the Father told me something, he's acting, of course, in good faith. But all these other critics and trolls on social media, they're not acting in good faith. So be Teflon to that.
Sure.
The other thing is about hate. People use the word hate a lot. So just consider this. For someone to hate you, they must believe that you're a threat. That's how it works in the brain. The amygdala lights up straight through here, lights up, looks like an almond, one on the left, one on the right side, of one on each hemisphere. If someone's a threat, if you think someone's a threat. So consider this. If someone hates you, but you're not a threat, it means that their amygdala is lighting up unnecessarily, which really means their own weakness. So to hate something when that something is not a threat to you means you're acting out of weakness. And why would you be off put by someone else's weakness? I'm not.
Sure.
If anything, I feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Or if they're just being snarky, like the guy earlier today, I just make a joke out of it, like Waylon did. Hey man, if your dog wants to follow me, I could use all the followers I can get.
Right.
Open him up an X account, Fido X, and maybe he'll get to be it. Maybe your dog will become a bigger influencer than I am.
He's like 500,000 followers or something for this dog. I was like, man, I mean, I get him on the show for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. I know you're limited on time. Actually, there's so many good ones we didn't get to. I'll just read them all real quick and see what you like. Let's see. Have you ever grown anything plant wise? What was China like? You said earlier today that you had been to China. I wanted to get into that. Maybe we'll have to have you on again sometime. What's your diet like? I read that one. How do you? Okay, this one I've been dying to ask you about this one. Have you ever worked with anyone that has aphantasia?
That has what?
Aphantasia. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Where they do not think in words. They do not think. They don't have an inner voice. They have they see colors and shapes and things and sounds. Have you ever heard of this?
That's actually a new one for me. If I knew about that, I forgot that I knew about it. But the answer is no, I've not.
Okay.
Yeah, I've worked with lots of people who have synesthesia. And so if you say 39, they'll say, oh, that's Violet. Or
maybe that's what it is.
If you say a word like
another ex-friend over there,
like if you say pencil, to them, they taste cotton candy, because to them, the word pencil tastes like cotton candy or something.
Right.
And so that's a hyperconnectivity syndrome in the brain, where different sensory mechanisms are connected one to the other abnormally.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Then maybe I'm.
Oh, have I grown things? I grew up growing things. We had a garden outside of Nashville, Tennessee. We grew watermelons and broccoli and squash and carrots and corn. And I love growing things. I don't have time to grow a lot of things today. I was just talking with my wife about planting some blueberries or Himalaya berries.
Ooh.
Since we had blueberries, but we did some building projects and the tractors wrecked them, and our blueberries are not blueberries, blackberries are blackberries. I'd like to grow some blueberries too, because that's one of my meals. I eat them every morning on 2 shredded wheat biscuits with coconut milk. That's my first meal of the day.
It's the antioxidants, or what? It's the thing that they're high in.
It's the superfood, and the blueberries are superfood, the antioxidants, and of course the shredded wheat is for fiber. And I just love. I'm a big texture person. I just love the texture of shredded wheat.
I love blueberries. Oh, really?
And blueberries, it's perfect. And the coconut milk, it's so yummy. And then I do a protein shake with some other supplements around noon. And then I do a meal with my wife, and then I do my bedtime meal, basically, which is protein shake and supplements. And my favorite thing in the morning is my turmeric infused carob, cacao, black pepper extract, black maca, 7 sacred mushroom latte.
Wow, how bougie.
I don't know if I had any bougie in it.
No.
Bougie is. I like to look at it.
Real fast, let's see. I was going to ask if you ever did anything else as work, I guess, before you were a doctor, but maybe not.
Did I
Uh,
do what?
did you ever do anything else like before you were a doctor?
When I
Fast
went to
food, paper route,
college as a
detathlon?
poor kid, of course I had to work.
Sure.
And I was a security guard at the
Oh,
college, which is fun. Saw all kinds of weird things there. And I raked chicken for Banquet Foods, a big chicken producer. And I would go to work at 11, get off at 7, and I would stand there with an aluminum rake and rake chicken
oh, you
all
said
night
rake.
long
Okay, I thought something bad for a
from a
second there. Oh,
hopper onto a fryer line where they fried the chicken.
okay.
And I still like chicken. I had chicken tonight. But yeah, that's one of the things that kept me in college. I remember going to developmental psychology class fresh off of my shower at the gym because I could take a shower in the college gym, get the chicken smell off of me. And the wonderful Dr. Ann Rhodes, I can still hear her voice in my dreams
Oh,
because I would be in developmental psychology class and I would doze off and I would hear Dr. Rhodes saying, Heath, Heath. And I'd wonder, am I dreaming or am I hearing something? I'd wake up and everybody was staring at me because I'd passed out in class. And I was so tired one time. There's about an hour and a half before class. So I would find some place to lay down. And there's a building called the Alpin Building at Lyon College where I got my undergrad degrees. And I laid down. It's such a freaky thing. I think it was 8 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up. Now, stick with me. I woke up and it's pitch black dark. And I thought, holy crap, I have slept through the end of the freaking world because it's supposed to be 9 a.m. and it is pitch black dark. I literally almost had a religious experience thinking the world had ended. Well, what had happened was I slept until after sunset that night.
yeah.
And people out looking for me, thinking I was in a ditch or something, everybody was freaked out. But yeah, I worked the crap out of myself getting through undergrad school. I would take 23, 24 credit hours a semester. I was a quadruple major. I majored in psychology, social work, theology, religion, philosophy, and speech. I got a speech degree, so 4.
Wow.
And so all I did was study and work, work and study, study and work. But it was the best time of my life,
You
other
didn't
than
take
this one.
You weren't taking like no dose or Adderall or whatever.
That's a great question. In that day and age, McDonald's had advertised a bottomless coffee, and you could pay like $5 for a coffee cup. And McDonald's said, we will refill this coffee cup forever. And so I really vetted it well. I interviewed the manager and I said, I'm a poor college kid. This sounds like a good deal. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Are you telling me, speaking of the world ending, if I give you $5, that's the last money I have in the world, by the way, you will refill this with black coffee until the end of the world? And he said, yes. And so I will get that coffee cup refilled many times a day. And it is still, gosh, how many years ago? 40 years later, almost 40 years later, I guess 40 years later, sitting in my cabinet. And I tell my wife, we're going to grab that cup and go to McDonald's and just see if they will keep their word. And she refuses to do it. She says, that would be so embarrassing. I'm not doing that.
No, he would be like, I don't know what this cup is, sir.
That cup was born before you were, Mr. Manager.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, I don't want to keep you too long, but we talked about the social media issue, and I actually thought it would be a really good connection to talk about the rat utopia experiment. Did you ever hear about this? I should have looked it up to give you better.
Yeah, fill me in. I may have heard of it. I don't recall.
It was, I believe, in the 80s. It might have been before that. I'd have to look up the details. I've checked it. We've talked about it before on a different show, but I guess I will while I tell you about it. And basically, they take in they create this utopia for rats where they get everything they could ever need or want in this like city of rats. Rat utopia experiment. Yeah. So the In the experiment, Calhoun and his researchers created a series of rat utopias. And let's see, basically what they found, this was in 1958 to 1962. So this was a little earlier than I thought. I won't read through the whole thing, but basically they found that as the population increased, and they had no use or they had no need for like doing anything, they created like different sectors of their society. They had ones that would like, you know, kill themselves. They had ones that were just fighting for no, like raving, like lunatics. And they also had ones they called the beautiful ones. And these were rats that spent their entire day just grooming themselves and just sitting there grooming, looking, trying to look good and look at like the whole
It sounds
thing.
a lot like social media influencers.
It
Actually.
does, and it sounds a lot like the way things are going with the human race. And there's a whole bunch of like similarities and crossovers with it. It's a very interesting study to check out sometime.
Well,
Calhoun.
I vaguely, yeah. So I vaguely recall that. That's been a really long time. That's probably, I guarantee, I have my first psychology book sitting on the shelf back there. Of course, it's one of my favorite books ever. But here's what I'll leave your audience with.
Sure.
Because people talk about finding meaning in their life, finding purpose. At my very heart, I am a existential philosopher. I'm a huge fan of Soren Kierkegaard, Albert Camus, Jean-Paul Sartre. And somebody has a question there. Dolores,
Yeah.
yes. Does a doctor help people with problems with eating, gaining weight regularly? So you can DM me on X if you'd like. Just DM me. Be glad to help out any way I can. And so the thing is, the great life is a gift, and it comes to you gift wrapped in pretty paper with a nice bow on top. And it is, I'm a believer, it is God's greatest gift to each of us, life. But you unwrap it, you open up this great gift, and the box is empty. That's because the gift is God, the creator, is giving you the ability to put in the box anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you get to decide what meaning there will be in your life. Just make sure it's something that has high value, because your feet will always follow your values. Inevitably, your feet will always follow your values. And so place your time on high value activities that serve your life, not nibble away at it. And that's the beautiful gift of life. Life is meaningless. You have to decide what meaning it'll have. So it's been a great conversation, Waylon. I really appreciate it. Welcome all your crowd to Midday Mindset. We do that 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock U.S. time, Central Standard Time, Chicago, Memphis time. And we pick a different topic every day. Wednesday is AMA, Hump Day AMA, Ask Me Anything. And so you can come on live and ask questions, and I'll be glad to answer those.
I didn't get in that much as a co-host today. Just I was like letting everybody else talk. I'm like, I could talk the whole time, you know, just like you could. And it's like, when do I jump in? I got in there. Yeah, thanks again, Dr. Heath, very much. Everybody, you know, check him out. I know I got a few of us in here that are on both Facebook and X, and go check him out there, and you'll like what you see. Thanks again, Dr. Heath.
Hey, thank you.
Soon. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Well, now let's start. So the Dr. Heath, guys, if you go find him on X, definitely leave a comment, because that is the best way to show, to like be seen and to show people that you're there on X. It's a different thing than on Facebook. When you hit the like button, they see it, but it's here. Let's try this one. I see it, but the comments, the replies are really where it's at. Anyway, there's so many things going through my mind. A lot to go through on that one, guys. I'll be thinking about that one for a couple days, right? And I always have, you know, there's always something to be introspective on with Dr. Heath's spaces over there for sure. I want to do this giveaway. I know a lot of you have been waiting. It's an hour and a half in. Very good time. We got 225 people hanging out. So cheers to you all. We got Sean over on the Rumble. Cheers, brother. Yes. Need a doctor when this crowd gets through with you. Leslie, yeah. Everybody's get in line for Dr. Heath. Yes. Awesome. We are still live on Dr. Heath's X, so we want to respect those folks over there. Let me see how many. 113 have popped in over there from X. Awesome guest. Thanks, Ash. Appreciate that, my man. Guys, if you didn't see the new GrowFam website, definitely need to go check that out. I believe it's the deal, the Earth Day deal is over with, but they were giving out free seeds to people who were in need. So I hope some of you guys took them up on that. Definitely interesting. Yeah, for sure. I don't have X. Well, it's free, Bradley, and they are doing a lot of the same things that the old Foos book is doing. I'm actually thinking about starting a group over there myself, just for maybe disaffected Facebookers. We can all get in the same group over there. I'm sure then other people will make theirs and whatnot and this and that, and that's fine. But maybe I'll start mine here soon. We'll see. Waylon, I don't know what X is. It's Twitter. Dolores, Twitter is X. Twitter, it's still twitter.com, but it's called X now. Yeah, he doesn't, he won't, you have to get a hold of him on X, Dolores. I'm sorry. It's a twitter.com. Yeah. Yep. That's where he does his thing. That's where you can get like an appointment or whatever. I actually think that he does in-person appointments. I'm not sure if he does. I'm not sure how it works, but just definitely get a hold of him for sure. Yeah. Make sure you guys get in this hashtag before we do this. 54 people in on it. 54. Here, we'll do this real quick. I guess I'll give 1 minute. People are still coming in. 230 now. Cheers, everybody. Got my old school Ladder with Crowder mug club cut mug. You can see him on Rumble. Shouts out to Rumble. Rumble, I still love you, Rumble, but you just took away my visibility over there. I did gain in followers, so definitely shouts out to you guys watching right now, and follow the channel if you haven't yet. We're almost to 400. Be great. All right. We are about 15 seconds out. Get in this hashtag. We're going to do this spin, and then I don't really have much else planned. So we'll do this. We'll do a couple of commercials real quick while we've got everybody hanging out. Before we do the spin, let's look at a word from GrowFam Homestead lineup. Okay, there's a new video there. The t-shirt promotions, is that something still going? I got a bunch of videos in here I don't know about. Let's watch Ash. I like this. This is cool.
Hey everyone, it is Ash with the GrowFam Homestead, and we are excited to be teaming up with Foop to bring you one epic garden this season. From our cannabis plants to our more than hobbyist vegetable garden, we'll be feeding our plants only the best. Today we're going to discuss how we use Foop nutrients during the vegetative stage of growing our cannabis plants. We start by using half of the recommended dose that's on the bottle, meaning we feed 10 milliliters of Veg 1 and 10 milliliters of Veg 2, which is approximately 2 teaspoons, and about 2.5 or half a teaspoon of the sweetener per gallon of water. We be sure to check the pH. It should be somewhere around 5.8 to 6.2. This part is really important not to miss. You can adjust your pH by using pH up or pH down, and you can use a pH pen or strips to ensure the pH is within the range you like it to be. We recommend you use your Foop in organic soil, and when using this soil, we like to start out saturating about 10% of your pot size. That means if you have a 10-gallon container, you're going to feed roughly 1 gallon of your Foop nutrient solution. Of course, as your plants get larger and the root system grows, you may have to add more. The best way we like to water or saturate our container is slowly. We start out by just feeding 1 pint or 1 quart at a time and seeing how your substrate absorbs this. Once you've noticed that your substrate has soaked in all of the nutrient solution, you can add more if necessary. It is important to ensure that your substrate has a good amount of moisture in it. Substrates that don't run the risk of your plant going hydrophobic, meaning meaning that it doesn't like water at all. And always remember to store your food nutrients in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight to preserve its quality. Be sure that your garden is epic, just like the Grow Fam Homestead, and head on over to thefoop.com. Use promo code GrowFam10 for your 10% off at checkout.
Use GrowFam10 at checkout to get your foop today. To go get your foop. I'm excited to use more of my foop mist. I can't use it right now, though, because you don't use the foop mist during flower. And I've got some babies flowering out nice and pretty. They're looking blue almost. It's kind of crazy. I don't want to, I guess I could pull a picture up, but we're going to do the spin now. Ash says, ladies, coming in beautiful. Stank so bad in veg. Had to move them out to the shop, out of the shop. Wow. Interesting. That bad, huh? All right. Good luck, everybody. Let's do it. 54 people in on this. Some of Nancy's own. Go check out Nancy on Saturdays. Cindy Paul, are you here? Are you with us, Cindy Paul? I know it took us, an hour and 40 minutes, but it was worth the conversation. I mean, you guys, I could pick Dr. Heath's brain all day and all night. We've got 240 people in here right now. Cheers, everybody. Lisa from over on the YouTube. Cheers, Lisa. Thank you for coming in. I saw you here earlier. I saw you commenting. Cindy is here. Okay. Oh, there you are. Yeah, I forget about the countdown and whatnot, so it's all good. Yeah, sweet. She says, I love Nancy's Own. Well, there we go. Let me write it down. I have a lot of room on my paper after all the questions that I had. I had one question I didn't ask him, if he likes any conspiracy theories. that could have gotten us onto a whole nother, whole conversation, right? All right, let's write it down. Cindy Paul with the win. And we're gonna do I'm going to do a spin for my locals subscribers from the number comment that I have been talking about for 2 weeks now. So if you don't know about it, ask me later. Whoever is in on it right now will be the numbers that I use. And I think it goes up to number 15, Mr. Trent Allgood, number 15. So we're going to spin a wheel 1 to 15. Oh, actually, number 15, I have the wheel already out with people that have won from it. Let's see. Yeah, Perry won and Gerald won. What was Gerald's number? Great show, though. Great show. A lot of good information. You definitely want to go follow him, though, to really get a lot more, because I mean, it's pretty much something new each time, and it's all a connection to our brain, and that's something we all share, right? I don't see, so that must have been last week. All right, so we got I might have to add everybody back on the wheel because I can't remember if this wheel is the right wheel. I think it is. Someone wants to send me a message. Not right now, someone. I'm sorry about that. That's right. Perry won last night, right? Not last night, but Monday. That's why I write all this down. Okay, Perry won that, and then we'll check game night. Tune in for game night this weekend. We got Chris Fisher from your Purple Hairs Gardens You're talking out Tuesday on the Homestead. He's going to be going up against our champion, Timothy Martin. I guess Perry was the only one so far, so that's okay. Cool. We're good to go. I added Mama Rochi and Mr. Fire in the Hole on the wheel. Let me put it up here on the screen. If you guys want to know about the Indoor Farmer giveaways, feel free to ask. Probably too late for you to jump in this one, but I'll be doing one more spin this week, tomorrow night on Thursday. And it depends on your level of subscription on what you get if you win. And that's how it works. I try hopping in when I can. Thanks, Bradley. Bradley, since you are you said you subscribed on Facebook. Let me check that real quick. If I can confirm it, then I'll give you a number as well, because I don't have another post on the Facebook side. There it is. Bradley and Gerald both. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Okay, cool. Bradley, I'm going to give you number 16 then, since you can't get a number otherwise. You and Elisa May are the only two that are Facebook side only, and that means you get a number from me directly, and you get to be number 16. Your coins, Cindy? I'm not sure. You have some coins on locals? I know you were in there at one time. You might have bought some coins by accident. And they make you buy coins through the app, unfortunately. So if you want to just use your debit card, or I guess if you have coins to use, obviously use them up. But the debit card has to be done through the website for anybody out there who's interested. I'll give you a minute, Cindy, if you're trying to jump in there real quick. I will give you a moment since you already had it connected and everything. Melissa, much love. Have a great night. Let me see if I can find a better. This is all right, I guess. It's about the coins by accident. Yeah, it happens. See if it works out, if you have enough. You see my comment on locals post. Let me check it here, Timothy. I will, since I'm waiting for Cindy. I definitely will wait if somebody wants to sign up, especially if you had already signed up, which means it should be easier. Timothy, okay, I will give you number 8 or 17. It's always when I'm about to spin it is when people go to get their numbers. But Timothy is our returning champion, so he gets to slide. I'll let him slide. Remember, Bradley, you are number 16. Remember that. Since I don't have actually, I'll put it down as a comment. Bradley Gibson is number 16. Boom. That way I got you and Elisa May both officially down. I'm going to do that every week. Do you have a number? Do I have a number? You're not sure. Well, you would have to check here, Dolores. It's hard for me to keep up with everybody on whether they did this or not. I will give you a look, though. Yes, you do, Dolores. Thank you for the. You are number 5, Miss Dolores. We're gonna see. We're gonna get Cindy in here. Irish Stoner Chick is following me, but that is not a paid sub, so you won't be able to see that post. Miss Luhu, okay. You're a pro member. Okay, hell yeah. Oh, for one time, 6. So if it's just for this month, that puts you at pro. So yeah, you could come up and be a team captain. Leslie, okay, I got you. Leslie will be. I don't think I got you one already. So you're number 18. And Miss Luhu, if you want to just comment on that pinned post at the top inside the community, that'll get you a number. If you guys are wanting to know what's going on, it's my subscription service over on Locals. You can also sign up for subscription on Facebook. I think you can subscribe on Rumble as well. So really anywhere that you subscribe to me would get you into game night and on the wheel. Should anyway. All right. Checking. Luhu liked the post. Okay. She's getting in there. All right. Great show though, guys. I'll get back to the comments here. Lucky number 5. Yep. I commented. Leslie, I got you. You're number 18. What exactly do I do with my number you gave me? It's the number. It's on this wheel. You won't do anything. Just remember that's you. If you win, you'll be taken off the wheel until next week. Let's see. Right on is good for and is for a good cause. Yeah. Well, thank you, Cindy. I didn't see a comment though to give you a number. Hang on a second. Oh, there it is. Okay. You are number 19. Well, I believe in a win-win scenarios. I believe in rising tide lifts all ships. So if you guys get in my community, if you're if you're supporting me, I try to support you. You know, I try to do anything I can for my subscribers. And until I am a big, rich, and famous, I can't just give you all my money. But this wheel does offer you some cash back, 2.5 months at your subscriber level. Not, I do have some people that pay me much more and above the Super Pro, which I do appreciate, but I can't do 2.5 times what you're paying, but I can do 2.5 times the level of Super Pro, which is $10 a month. So if you're a Super Pro member, you get $25 for winning this wheel. What's up, Chelsea? I'm fairly new to the lives. What's the wheel? The wheel is for my subscribers. We did a giveaway just before this, which was for anyone. You'll have to try to make it a little earlier next week. I appreciate you coming in though. Make sure you follow the Homestead and follow myself, Waylon the Indoor Farmer. You'll get those notifications, and you'll be able to see every night of the week. We do have a show on the Homestead. Well, on Sundays it's more during the day, but every day now we have a show on Homestead which has a giveaway for the audience. So definitely want to make sure you come back and check those out. But if you're interested to get in on this one, Chelsea, you'll have to hit me up and or maybe just go to this website here down below my name, theindoorfarmer.locals.com, and we'll get you in on the next one. I'll be doing another one tomorrow night, and also game night every Sunday, which gets you in a lot more prizes and fun, all that good stuff. So let's do this spin and get going. Almost at that 2-hour mark. How about who wins? Oh, wait, did I not? If I didn't add the number 19, then I'm going to respin. I was just saying that right now because I don't remember if I added number 19. So it doesn't matter who wins at this moment if 19 is not on there, which it is not. I do not see it. So in fact, we're just going to do that so that you can't see. You can't even see it. It's not there. It doesn't even exist anymore. It's not even a thing now. It's not real. Sunday fun day game night. Leslie, man, I hope you're taking it easy, bro. We don't need you to be we need you to worry about you. We need you to take care of you right now for sure. Because man, we don't want to see you having to be going through too much. You know what I mean? Brain stuff is no joke. All right. Yeah, I need to add a couple more here. 17, 18, and 19 were not added. And so now I can shuffle a little bit. Make sure there's no duplicates. Okay, good to go. So yeah, I spin this wheel about 3 times a week, And you don't have to be at the show to get in on this. So every Sunday night, guys, after game night, for you, few of you that are new and people that are still not sure about it, every Sunday night I make a post on locals. For those of you that are on Facebook, I give you your numbers individually. But on locals, you have to comment and like the post, and maybe try to invite someone over there. But otherwise, just comment, like the post, and I give you a number. I'm going to make a post on the Facebook side soon too, as soon as I have a few more people that are only on the Facebook side, and that'll be a thing that you can do throughout the week. Anytime you get time to go over there, hit the like button, say hi, get a number. That's for people that don't have time to hang out and watch the shows, all day. And another thing is you get hash and dash immunity. So if you do pop in and see that I'm doing the wheel, you don't have to worry about staying for it. You just, I'll let you know who won. I do it live. I do it on the show each time. So, all right, let's see who wins. Cindy used up her last remaining coins. This is a gamble. Maybe Cindy, if you win, you get yourself another couple months of subscription money if you want, and then you can win even more on game night. So this could be like you could end up like a free member for a while. Not free, I guess, but well, it is once you've won a few prizes on game night, you've definitely won your money's worth. That's awesome. That puts us almost up to 70. If I get up to 100, I'm going to give away some cash for sure to my subscribers. We're also looking for more people that want to be on screen to play in game night. You got to be a pro member at $5 or more, but we need more players. You automatically win for playing. Number 5, look at that. Oh, you can't. Here, let me show you. Let me show you a little bigger. Number 5, Dolores. Dolores wins. Congratulations, Dolores. There's your money for your pro membership. Dolores is a basic member, and she's expressed a couple times that she plans to go to the pro membership next month, and you just won $5, so you literally could just do it now after I send you the cash. So that's pretty cool. I need to remind myself to send a nice thank you to Dr. Heath. Guys, Dr. Heath is cool for a lot of reasons, but mainly, like, he's not on social media for trying to grow a following in order to become monetized and all those sort of things. He's just out there trying to spread his message and his knowledge. So that right there is enough to be a cool enough person to follow. But he is gaining a following anyway. Like, I think he's over 15,000. It's like just by putting out awesome information and being a cool host and stuff. So I like it. But yeah, congratulations, Dolores. And yeah, that means you get to jump up there. That means you could play this weekend if you decided to do that. I mean, I'm not telling you that you have to spend that money that way. You can do it any way you want, but it would be a way to get you up on to play against Chris Fisher, Purple Hair's Gardens, and play against Timothy, the reigning champ. Let's see. And then cool. Yeah, Dolores, if you can just send me a message with your Cash App or something like that, I'll send you a message here after this. I want to spend on the membership. Okay, yeah, we'll get you the cash then, and I'm excited for you too, because then that gives me more players, more people to come up and play, because that's what we've been needing. So I have Sunday nights off, and we'll be in to play. Awesome, that's really cool, Cindy. I know you played one at a time before, and you weren't. You had been busy on Sunday nights, so that means you get to play. That's really cool, because I know you like the games. Cindy was one. You actually correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was you and I that played one night. I think it was like Parcheesi or something, and it was just you that were the only person that was able to play. that night, and it was early on before I developed the game a lot more and stuff. So thank you again for that. But yeah, let's get going, guys. It's been a great show. If you haven't yet already, hit that like button, share the show with your friends. Make sure that you go and follow the guest, and go check us out on all different platforms, all the major ones anyway. But it's been fun. I got my old schedule back finally. Okay, heck yeah. We played Sorry. Okay, it was Sorry, not Parcheesi. Okay, but they're similar. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys. We Grow Wednesdays not just about growing plants. We grow with each other. We all need to sustain to live, right? Every single person on the planet has to eat. So that's what we do up in here on the Grow Fam. So cheers, everybody. Go check us out, thegrowfam.com. Use code WTIF10 to get a discount there. Otherwise, have a great night. Come see me tomorrow night. People in the boxes. Before People in the Boxes, you got Certified Terpy Thursdays with Sir Steve-O. Go check them out. Peace, everybody.